Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. My name is Krista. I have been craving something lately. I have been craving a banana split. Yesterday I was canning up a whole bunch of carrots. I finally just got it done. I canned up all of those yesterday. Plus I got all of that beef broth canned up. So I canned up almost 40 jars of carrots yesterday. My hands are really stained from peeling and cutting all of those carrots. Anyways, as I was waiting for the pressure canner to kind of do its thing, I was going through one of my canning books because I kind of wanted to get a little bit of inspiration for some new recipe ideas. So I was going through this particular canning book. And there's this one recipe in here, and it is called Sunday in a Jar. And I was reading it and I was like, that sounds really, really good. I may do this in the future. I'm not going to do this one today, but it got me thinking, and I'm like, Sunday in a jar, I'm feeling like I want a banana split. So I started going through my pantry and I'm like, I want to see if I can make a banana split with everything from my pantry. And I looked and I have canned pineapple and I have canned strawberry preserves. The strawberry preserves that we're going to use are actually from this canning book. I will leave both these linked for you guys if you want to reference them. But it is on page 67 and it is called Strawberry Preserves. It is a very, very, very sweet preserve, and I didn't realize how sweet it was until I tried to eat it on toast one day and I was like, oh, this is way too sweet for me. I like very low sugar stuff that I can actually really taste the fruit in it. So I had those two components to make the banana split, but I did not have any chocolate sauce. And I thought, well, I gotta go to Walmart anyways to pick up some ice cream. I might as well get chocolate sauce. And then, of course, the canner that I am was like, no, I'm going to see if I can find a canning recipe for chocolate sauce. And sure enough, I found a recipe for chocolate syrup / sauce. So we are going to can that up today. And then once it is done canning, it does say that it has to sit for 24 hours, but we're going to open it a little early and we're going to make a banana split for dessert tonight with everything that we canned. I'm so excited. Well, not everything. We didn't can the bananas and not the ice cream. Those are from Walmart. So we're gonna do that today. And the other thing that I have to get done is I have some bananas. Since we're doing a banana split, I noticed that I actually have some bananas that are starting to go bad and I don't wanna waste them. And I have been feeling like a banana bread. So I'm gonna use this cookbook and we are gonna make some banana bread today. I have these little cute loaf pans. I have quite a bit of them and I have a couple of different sizes of them. So I thought what I would do today is we would make some banana bread, but we were gonna make them and put them into these tins. That way what we can do is I can freeze some of the banana bread because I know I'm not going to eat a whole loaf of banana bread. Stephen has actually been gone all week. By the time you guys are actually seeing this video, he will be home. So I'm comfortable saying that he's not here because by the time, again, this video comes out, he would have already been at home for a couple of days. So he has been gone for the last week and I have just been kind of just snacking on stuff. I have not been really making big meals and just having things that I normally don't get to eat when he's here, like French onion soup. That was one that I made because he was gone and I knew I could get away with making that. So I know because he's not home right now, I'm not gonna go through a whole loaf of banana bread. So those little tins are perfect. We should probably be able to make about 3 of them, which will be perfect. So we'll put 2 in the freezer. So let's get started, I guess, on getting that sundae done because it is a water bath canning recipe. It comes together really quickly from what the recipe states. And I will leave a link for you guys in the description with this particular canning recipe. Everything on it looks like it is safe for water bath canning, but I just, again, little bit of a disclaimer here, please do your own research. I'm doing this because I'm feeling comfortable with it in my home. I've been canning for years. I'm not an expert canner, so please do your own research and do what you feel is safe in your home. Just because I say that I'm doing it does not necessarily mean that that's something that you need to do in your own home. So again, disclaimer, do your own research. But I will leave the recipe linked if you want to give it a try. So it says here that it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to make. And I think what it is just you have to pretty much wait for it to thicken up, because it only needs to be water bath for 15 minutes. So it should be a fairly quick recipe to make. So actually, you know what? Before we get this started, I actually need to go get my water bath canner, and I need to get some water in it, and we need to get some jars heated up. One thing this recipe calls for is corn syrup. I don't have any like store-bought corn syrup. However, I do have some corn syrup that I actually made with some corn cobs when I was canning my corn last year. I got this recipe from Rachel over at 1870s Homestead. She actually did a video showing how she makes that. If I can find the video for you guys, I will leave it linked for you in the description. So we're gonna use this corn syrup. I hope that it doesn't change the texture of it. I hope it doesn't cause it to not solidify or not thicken up. Like I said, I don't have any of the store-bought corn syrup here, so we're going to use what we have, and fingers crossed it works out good. So we're going to get everything combined together in a pot. So the first thing that it says to do is in a small pot, put 1.5 cups of water. So that's what I have right here. And then it says add 3 cups of sugar. It doesn't specify what kind of sugar. We are going to use a organic evaporated cane sugar. And then it says 3 cups of that. And then what we have to do is we have to bring that to a boil, and then we have to whisk in our other ingredients. So let's get the sugar added and get this on the stove top. I have my water bath canner now on my stovetop, and I have 4 half-pint jars in it. This recipe states that it makes 2 to 3 half-pint jars depending on how thick you make the sauce. So it will vary. I always keep more jars than I think that I'm actually gonna need. That way I have extras if I need them. So we have 4 of them in there getting nice and warm because we're gonna be putting a hot sauce. So we need to have hot water, hot jars for the hot sauce. I also went and put my apron on because I'm dealing with chocolate and I do not want to be covered in chocolate. So we're just going to get this to come to a boil, and then what we're going to do, we are going to whisk in 1.5 cups of Dutch processed cocoa. So I think mine is Dutch processed, I'm not sure. Then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. And again, we're just going to use our homemade corn syrup, and I'm excited to try it. This is actually the first time that I'm trying it. I've not had a recipe yet that called for corn syrup, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to do that. So we're just gonna wait for this to boil. There's a lot of like sugar to water ratio. I think the water is just to kind of make it a little runny, but this is definitely a very, very sweet recipe because again, it's chocolate sauce or chocolate syrup. Okay, it is starting to come to a boil. So we are going to whisk in our other ingredients. I'm actually gonna take it off for a minute while I get the cocoa ready. I don't want my cocoa to get lumpy, so I am going to use one of these. I'm gonna take it off the heat for 2 minutes. This element, once it gets going, it gets going. So I have my 1.5 cups of cocoa powder in there, and I'm just gonna add my 1/4 cup of salt to this also, just so that it can all sift together. Oopsie, and we got that burning on the stovetop. We got some cocoa on the stovetop and it doesn't smell the best. I also turned my stovetop down a bit. So we need 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. This is what we're using. It smells really, really good. Might just use a touch bit more, just because we're not using the store-bought stuff. And then we need 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. It says to whisk until the solids have all dissolved, and then it says to reduce the sauce for another 15 minutes until it's completely thickened. Kind of got cocoa everywhere, so I'm just gonna use a spatula just to scrape down the sides. This element is getting way too hot. I've turned it down to a medium-low. So it says to do this for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna really take it down a notch. I'm gonna put it to low because it's coming up. A bigger pot definitely would have been handy. I am going to modify my recipe and put medium pot because I really did pick my small pot and it is like boiling up to the top and I have it on a low heat. That's kind of what it's looking like. Okay, so it has been about 15 minutes since we did this, and it's not thickened up a super amount, but I like my chocolate sauce kind of a little bit more runnier, so it is fine, and it tastes really, really good. So we're gonna get it taken off of the heat. So we have to leave a 1/4 inch headspace in it, and I think it will thicken up as it cools down also because it is pretty thick. Definitely need to clean the rims on these ones because it is very, very sugary. And then we also need to debubble. I'm actually going to use the 4 jars. I took a washcloth and just washed around all of the jars. They are very, very hot jars, very hot. I am just gonna take some white distilled vinegar and just kind of clean the top of the jars just to ensure that there's still no chocolate left on them, because that will definitely compromise the seal. I think I need to actually add more to that one. So already it is thickened up quite a bit in this pot just from being off the heat. So I'm not concerned with that not thickening. I'm gonna have to rewash this jar. Let's get our jar lids on. I have to go and grab one more ring. So this is definitely thick, and I'm really, really happy with it. So we're gonna get these put into the water bath canner. You want to leave 1 to 2 inches of water above the jar in the water bath canner. And once it comes to a full rolling boil, we're gonna start the timer for 15 minutes. So we're just gonna wait until it gets to a boil. So it's already come to a boil because there's hardly any jars in there. It's coming pretty quickly. So I have the timer set for 15 minutes. I just wanted to show you guys, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is how thick that sauce got. Like, it's not even like, it's thick and it's good. Really, really good. I am really pleased with this recipe and super excited that we're gonna have 3 jars in our pantry. And I'm saying 3 because we're gonna use 1 tonight. Well, we're not gonna use it all, but we're gonna use some of it tonight for our banana split. What I'm gonna do right now is just get these tins prepped for the banana bread. What I do whenever making banana bread in these loaves is I always just put some butter in it just to like kind of coat it, or you could use oil too. We might actually end up using oil. It'd be easier than the butter. Maybe not. Once they're all buttered, I then take some flour, just put a little flour in each of them, and then just kind of do this so that they get completely coated in the flour. This is a way to make a pan that is not non-stick, essentially non-stick. They also make these really cool liners I've seen that you can get to like line loaf pans with, but because these are miniature, I don't know if they make them for these ones. Okay, so we got these all done. How many more minutes? We got 7 more minutes on that. I'm gonna go and get a tea towel out so that when that is done, we can put the jars on the tea towel for them to cool down for the 24 hours. So it was done the 15 minutes. I took the lid off, removed it from heat, and let it sit for another 5 minutes in here. So now we're gonna take them out and we are just gonna leave them sit on this tea towel for the next 24 hours. You don't really wanna disturb it. You just kind of wanna let them do their thing. Mind you, we are gonna open one of them just for tonight's dessert. I can already hear them popping. That is what they look like. Really, really yum. Okay, let's get this banana bread started. So I kind of got all of the ingredients out. They're just all sitting here. So we have to get the bananas mashed up first because you add them to the other stuff. So I'm gonna be cut off, sorry guys. I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. So I have my little meat chopper, like masher, and I'm just gonna use this just to get the bananas good and mashed up. You can use like a, what are they called? Potato masher. That works great too. Or you could just use a fork. Whatever you got. So the second thing that we are also going to get pre-prepped is we're going to get our dry ingredients all sifted together in another bowl here. So we need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Then you need a teaspoon of baking powder. And a teaspoon of baking soda. And then you need half a teaspoon of salt. I have taken my peels and I put them in that water. Again, this is what I use on my garden. It really helps with blossoms, and I have found that it has actually increased my pepper harvest. So I always put my banana peels in with water, let them soak for a couple of days, and then put them on my garden beds. Amazing, amazing fertilizer. Right, so to our mixer, we need to get 2 eggs going in here, and we need to beat these eggs up. I just have my whisk attachment on my mixer because I found that it works better than my paddle attachment. Okay, those eggs are good and beaten up. So now we need to add 3/4, I need my measuring cup. Stick this up here. We need to add 3/4 of granulated sugar. I'm just using this white organic cane sugar. And it says half a cup of vegetable oil. We're just going to use some avocado oil in this. And then we need half a cup of yogurt. This is just some yogurt that I made. I made this last week. I actually need to make another batch. Probably end up doing that tomorrow. So we need half a cup of that. Then we have to add in our mashed bananas. Okay, and then we need to beat it with an electric mixer or a whisk until it is thoroughly blended. I have been making this recipe I started making it when my daughter was almost firstborn, so I've been making it for well over 20 years. This is my favorite go-to recipe for banana bread. It was my kid's favorite also. I make modifications to it. We will be doing a modification today also to it. The recipe in the cookbook is actually really neat because it does, you can tell like my cookbook is very well loved. It's completely falling apart. This is my favorite page. It does say in this cookbook that you can make a banana cherry version, which I have done. Delicious. You could also make a banana cranberry. Again, delicious. If you are making either the cherry or the cranberry, all you do is you just stir in 1 cup of coarsely chopped dried cherries or dried cranberries into the flour mixture. So you would add them to the flour. We haven't added it yet, so you would do that at this step. The other one I have made with this one is a spiced banana coconut bread. That is really, really good. What you would do for that is you would add half a cup of flaked or finely shredded unsweetened coconut and half a teaspoon of cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. And you would again add that to the flour mixture and then add that to your wet ingredients. You can also turn these into muffins, which is what I usually do because Stephen actually prefers the muffins over the bread. And then all you do for that is you bake them at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes. So because we are making the breads today, we have the oven preheated at 350 and we are to bake these for about 60 minutes. So we're gonna add our flour mixture in at this point. Remember, we sifted these all together. So we're just gonna put it in here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly beat this until this is just incorporated. We do not wanna overmix this. Okay, that's pretty good. Down the sides of it here. We are going to add some peanut butter chips and we're gonna add some white chips. I have added walnuts to this and it is delicious. I've added chocolate chips to it, also delicious. This is gonna be a first for the white chips and the peanut butter. I would imagine banana and peanut butter, I mean, that's a good combination to begin with. So I would imagine that that's gonna be pretty delicious. Okay, and then we are literally just stirring it very quickly just to incorporate these. So we got our batter here and we got our trays. So we're just gonna fill these up. Now this does rise a little bit, so you do not wanna fill it right to the top. And I think I got these trays at a estate sale. I know I didn't buy them from the store. So I can't really link them for you guys. What I'm doing right now is I'm just tapping them down just to kind of get it more distributed right and try to get some air bubbles out. I am putting them on a cookie sheet in case we get overflow because it usually ends up happening. So we are gonna get these in the oven for 60 minutes. We will probably come about 55 minutes and just do a toothpick check and see if they're cooked all the way through. I've probably overfilled these. are in the back pantry now, and we are just gonna grab our strawberry preserves, and we will grab, we don't need very much pineapple, so we'll just grab one of these ones. The strawberry preserve, we're just gonna scoop over top of the ice cream for the strawberry, but the pineapple, we actually have to make it into like a crushed pineapple, and all we have to do that is we're gonna put it into the food processor and just do like a couple pulses, and then that will crush this up for us. But we still have about 30 minutes left on that banana bread, so we'll wait until that is done and then we'll come back and give that a check. I am getting some house cleaning done today because it's Saturday, so it's kind of my day to get some stuff done, and I can really smell this from upstairs. I don't know if it's done or not though, because it says we still have about 7 more minutes, so let's give it a check. I think it might be almost done. That's what they're looking like. Just turn that timer off so you don't hear that in the background. Yeah, this one is coming up clean. They are done. Yep, they're all coming up clean. We got some overflow, which I knew was gonna happen, but those are looking delicious. It smells so good in my house right now. So I'm gonna leave these kind of sit here, probably maybe like 20 minutes. Let them, maybe half an hour actually. Let them kind of cool down a bit, and what I'll do is I'll come and I'll take them out of the pans, and then we'll put them on a cooling rack. And then once they are good and cooled, we'll wrap them up and then put them in the freezer. So I am gonna go and finish my housework. And then I guess what we'll do is we will come back after and then make that banana split, because it is only 3:30 and I don't know if I really feel like having a banana split at 3:30. I haven't really had any lunch. So probably should eat something with some substance. It is 7 o'clock now and it is time for dessert. So we are going to get this banana split made. I decided to look up banana splits because in my head I had a vision of what a banana split looked like, and I just wanted to kind of double check. And sure enough, what I had in my head was not what the typical like ice cream shop banana split would be, because usually traditionally a banana split would have vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate ice cream. I am kind of doing it a little bit like how Dairy Queen does it, obviously not doing a soft serve ice cream. We're gonna be using this ice cream, just a Walmart vanilla bean ice cream. So it's all of the 3 scoops of ice cream are all gonna be vanilla. When I started doing a little bit more research, it looked like it was a strawberry vanilla chocolate ice cream, which I had known I would have bought those types. The other 2 things that we're not doing on a traditional banana split is, actually maybe there's 3 things we're not doing. We're not doing a lot of stuff. I'm kind of making it how I want to make it. This is my version of a banana split, because I am not going to be putting whipped cream on it. I'm not going to be putting peanuts on it, and I'm not going to be putting the cherries on top of it. I do not like those cherries. They're not my favorite. So we're going to do it how we want to do it. And we'll just call it our version of a Dairy Queen banana split, because that's kind of what I'm craving, is the Dairy Queen. And I hope that this is going to be fine because it's soft serve ice cream. It should be fine. I don't eat a lot of ice cream either. It's just a weird, I think that I'm craving the bananas and the chocolate, to be honest. I also wanted to show you guys how these turned out. They are absolutely amazing, and as you can see, I ate some and it is so very good. Today has definitely been a snack day. Okay, I totally thought I had my camera on recording. I just pulsed this pineapple. I just drained it, dumped it in here, and literally just pulsed it a couple of times, and we're left with chopped pineapple or crushed pineapple. I don't have a big long banana split bowl. I'm just gonna use one of my regular bowls. So we have the banana. Just take the banana here, and then we're just going to slice it down the middle, like so. Take 1 scoop of ice cream. Got our 3 scoops of ice cream. So the very first one, we will put the pineapple on. Do that one over here. Get a clean spoon. And then the, which one do we want to do strawberry on? We'll do strawberry on the middle one. So we've got our strawberry preserves right there. And then we have our chocolate sauce we canned up. Look at it, guys. Absolutely beautiful. So then we're gonna put this on the last one. So I went and ate my banana split and realized that I completely forgot to close this video out and say goodbye to you guys. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.